brothers were...
And ladies and gentlemen, in the interim, there is a big breaking development coming in from the Delhi Rohini court. The case moving very fast in the Luthra brothers investigation. The Delhi court has now reserved an order which was seeking an interim bail. The order will be delivered at 5 p.m. in the evening, and the suspense over whether or not the Luthra brothers will get an anticipatory bail to come to Goa and face their charges now will be concluded at 5 p.m. this evening, as the Delhi Rohini court has now reserved an order in the Luthra brothers case. Remember, this case first came to the court yesterday in the afternoon with senior advocate Siddharth Luthra representing the Luthra brothers there. The core contention of that argument was, ladies and gentlemen, that they are ready to come back to Goa and join the investigation as an aid to the investigation, but not as accused. The Luthra brothers shockingly also claimed that they were being persecuted, their restaurants were demolished without any notices, and that they are only the licensees and not owners. This was the conjecture that was put out. This was the argumentation that was put out by the lawyers of the Luthra brothers in the court. The court has, yesterday there was no interim bail granted to them. Today the order has been reserved till 5 p.m. in the evening. My colleague Shambhavi joins us live now on the broadcast with more details. Shambhavi, take it away. Shambhavi, if you can hear me, we are getting in a breaking news detail coming in that the Delhi court has now reserved an order. The order will be pronounced at 5 p.m. in the interim bail plea application that has been filed in the court. What's the latest that you're picking up on this story, Shambhavi?
Well, yes, the order has been reserved now after a lot of argument between both the counsels. There has been to and fro argument from both ends in this case. The counsel for Goa was arguing and debunking each and every argument that was made from Luthra's end yesterday, be it about them absconding from the country and asking protection from the police if they come back. And mind you, they have put a condition that we are ready to come back. We want to come back to India, provided that you give us protection because we are scared. What they have put forward in their argument is that I am being threatened, my wife is being threatened. What if you want me to come back to Goa and then you want me to be lynched by the public there? So they're saying that we are running a risk here. There has been a lot of things which has happened in just a matter of few days. There has been minute-to-minute changes in this entire case where several of my properties have been bulldozed. Rest of the properties have been shut down without any notice. And you are taking me accountable for something which I'm not even responsible for. I've barely been to Goa and I don't look after the operations there. Please take into account who handles the operations for that concerned club. And we are talking about Birch by Romeo Lane here, in which there was this fire. So these were the points that were being raised by the Luthra brothers, to which the state of Goa's council has said that they have raised several points about their health issues as well, that both Saurabh and Gaurav Luthra have health issues, that Saurabh has a history of epilepsy and also of seizures. So what they are saying, what the council for Goa has said, that if you look at their prescription, in that prescription, you can see that yes, that prescription was prescribed without even meeting the patient. So that cannot be considered as something very severe. And when it comes to Gaurav Luthra, that was more of a cosmetology clinic medicines. So these are not such serious medicines that you can say that they have a medical history and that if they come back, there is more chances of getting seizure. So such arguments were made from both ends, very strong arguments made, a lot of to and fro between both the parties. And now that the court has reserved the order, the final order is expected to be out by 5 p.m. Back to you.
Indeed, Shambhavi, and stay with us because, ladies and gentlemen, these are fast-moving developments coming in as we speak. The Delhi court has now reserved an order that will be delivered at 5 p.m. in the evening. And the entire sequence of events, ladies and gentlemen, we have mapped out very clearly how these two individuals got into an aircraft which flew from 5:30 a.m. in the morning in an Indigo aircraft, and how they escaped the country mere hours after the entire fire incident took place in Goa. And let me also take you through a set of sequence of events as to how exactly this entire sequence was executed. First, what has happened since morning? Today morning, they were detained from the Indigo hotel where they were staying in room number 345. They were detained from the hotel room. These are the visuals of the Thai immigration services who detained them. Subsequently, their identities were verified because a blue corner notice of the Interpol was put in place, and because of that blue-collar notice, they were identified, their passports were photographed, and it was proven that it is Gaurav and Saurabh, the two people who were in the Thai police custody. Subsequently, what happened? Then they were taken away into an immigration detention center of the Thai services. From there on, behind a blue door in a restricted area, they have been detained for further proceedings. We are being told now that Indian embassy officials also have reached Phuket, where these two individuals are now being detained by the immigration authorities of Thailand, and subsequently their process of repatriation back to the country is going to be under the focus. Amidst this, there was hope for them because a case hearing was ongoing in Delhi's Rohini court, which has now reserved a judgment at 5 p.m. in this evening. Their prayer to the Delhi court was an anticipatory bail for 5 days. Let me also show you the map graphics on this big wall to show you the scale and extent of which what has transpired in the last 24 to 48 hours. In just a moment, ladies and gentlemen, but the biggest story at the moment is whether or not Gaurav and Saurabh will get that anticipatory bail, because the entire procedure of their repatriation is now somewhat hinged upon it. But let me also show you the sequence of events from the perspective of this big man detained in 72 hours. The fire breaks off here in Goa at 11:45 p.m. on Saturday evening. Subsequently, what happens? The two brothers are based out in Delhi at 1:17 a.m. in the thick of the night. Merely a couple of hours after that, they boarded a flight of Indigo at 5:25 a.m. in the morning and landed there, all the way in Phuket. It was much closer for them to come to Goa and join the investigation, as they are now going to the Rohini court and claiming that they want to be part of the investigation. But instead, ladies and gentlemen, they say that they had some important work, following which they decided that it was perhaps advisable for them to fly all the way down there to Phuket, but not to Goa. Shambhavi, these are some very strong questions that were raised by the ASG also in the court, and some questions that the Luthra brothers have had to answer in the court. Whether or not this will convince the judges is something remains to be seen, but the timeline will be a huge factor of consideration, Shambhavi, in the bail hearing.
Definitely, the time when the fire actually broke, and then the time at which they booked the ticket, then the time they took the flight and reached, and then released a very templated condolences message on his Instagram. And then there were several points. Now let me also tell our viewers here, Krutarth, that there were some points raised by the Luthra brothers and in this hearing. What they're saying is, we are just asking for this transitory anticipatory bail. We are not fighting, or we are not arguing on the merits of the case. If you just provide me some protection, I will be back. I was even ready to come back to India yesterday night as well, when the arguments were going on. Then another point, they're saying that I have set up my restaurant. I'm setting up my restaurant in Phuket, and I will be employing Indians in that restaurant. Is that something that I should be lynched for? Because they've made this very strong point that if you want me to come back to India, I will come back to India. I am ready to face the court. But if I'll come back to India, I will be lynched. My properties will be set ablaze. They're saying that their life is in danger. Another point that they've raised is that Saurabh is epileptic and Gaurav has some neuro issues, and that they went above and beyond to make sure that all the documents are provided for the aid of the investigation. So now they're defending their actions. They're not taking any accountability for this unfortunate accident that happened at the club, and they are constantly trying to prove their innocence by saying that we went above and beyond just to make sure that the authorities have all the required documents in this case. Another thing that they're actually saying, that because Saurabh is epileptic and he's more prone to have seizures, such stressful environment just makes him more prone to have seizure, and that is basic science. So these are the grounds that today the Luthra brothers council have argued, to which even the council for the state of Goa has said that when you look at the timing, we are already constantly telling our viewers the timeline of this entire accident. And when you look at the time, the fire was somewhat around 11:20 to 11:30 p.m. Saturday night. And then around 1:17, that flight, 1:17 a.m., just a couple of hours after that fire, they booked a flight, and then they fled from India. And they're also saying that I ran like a rabbit, but I'm ready to come, I'm ready to face, give me protection and I will come. So that has been their constant point. Krutarth.
All right, thank you.